Well, if that doesn't put me in the hunting spirit, I don't know what would. Just a nice little shot of snow last night. Cold as. We are pretty much done. That is it. Well, if we aren't done, then we are done now. Worked late last night just trying to finish up the last of the land work. So that is it. As a forest all stop. I think we pretty much got done what we wanted to. We had a heck of a lot of land damage this spring with the major rains we had come through and that tremendous snow melt. That wave of water that washed away my bee yard washed and cut a lot of our land along the escarpment, and we scrambled to fix it in the spring. Could only repair so much. So in those last couple of weeks I've been repairing 5-foot cuts, and I fixed most of those up, built some stone dams, just work. But the land is put back together and ready for next year. So I kind of just tucked my bees away and closed the door and completely forgot about them. Just the way it should be. And winter has revisited the honey farm. So today I need to move some equipment from the seed can into the extracting room as we attempt to do a little bit of maintenance and repair. Things are always so much easier when we don't have any snow on the ground. Walking through snowbanks. Oh well. I've moved bees in this weather. It's nice to have all my babies inside. This will be the first winter shed walk. Quite exciting. Sure feels good to be done. I have 4 rows. I have to patch up the doors and the windows a little bit here. I'll maybe get to that today. Like I say, I moved them in. I kind of just shut the doors as we focused on land work. That looks so nice. I'm converting all my pallets to this style now. The interlocking just makes things so much neat and tidier. The trick is, to make a narrow cleat on top of the lid here, and that way the cleat on the bottom of the pallet isn't too far in, leaving this two-way, because they're just two ways, right? It leaves them too tippy, so it just allows us to bring that cleat a little further out. And when I throw them on the truck, they stack nice, and then I can winch them tight because of this space in the back. And technically we should be able to snug everything up right tight. So if I'm going any distance, I make sure everything's together, winch her down, and away we go. So I'll get these. I'll be cycling probably 100 of these through every year, just on my attempt to replace some of this old equipment. Got to keep at it. And then cycling these boxes through. I invest into the honey boxes, and then the culled honey boxes go down to brood chambers. So that's why it always looks a little bit rough, because the brood chambers are always the boxes at the end of their lives. Well, that's kind of the way, the old beekeeper that used to be in this area. Mind you, I started paying attention near the end of his career, but he'd always have bees just boiling out of his boxes, and his boxes were in tough shape. So I've always associated good bees with bad boxes for some reason. It's just the way it was. So I think a little bit of comfort comes to seeing my bad boxes just because of that fact. Just one of those silly little notions, right? Good bees, bad box. Turned off the fans. The shed is silent that time of year. So I just did a count, and I have, not including my sick ones here, I have 1,352 beehives in this shed. So a little bit of rough math. We're looking at roughly 20 to 30 million bees. And do you hear that? That low, awesome roar. So I had brought out roughly 1,600 hives. Managed through one hell of a spring. I'm getting up to the bee yard at 5 o'clock in the morning. And then putting in the full day with the crew. And getting back, for supper around 8 or 9. So putting in 2 days worth of work every day. Just to keep things going. Slipping through by the skin of my teeth. Produced one hell of a honey crop. And I'm putting in just about 1,400 colonies here. I mean, I've been fussing about some concerns. What can I say? I did absolutely everything I could. As we draw the year to an end, this feels pretty good. Just listen to that roar. That's what it's all about.